In the name of Allah, most gracious and most merciful. My name is Omar, and today I am so happy to announce that I have completed the detailed study of Holy Quran. This journey took 10 months. I'm gonna share what challenges I faced before the start and during this journey. My most of country fellows, my Pakistani brothers and sisters will be able to relate to this video. I'm gonna say here what is my point of view after reading the Holy Quran. First thing we Pakistani do usually is to read the Holy Quran but not understand it or not translate it. We Pakistani generally put a lot of focus and preference on reading Holy Quran without knowing its meaning or without translating it. And I have seen many families who set competition among their kids in holy month of Ramadan who will complete Holy Quran first among them. In our whole society, we know that reading Holy Quran in Arabic alone gives no doubt us ajr, sawab and reward in eye of Allah. Now the question comes, we should continue to remain focused on reading alone, or we should put some effort to translate into our language. So the next phase comes is when we literally translate the Holy Quran into our own language in Urdu. What happens is when you do word by word translation, you don't get its meaning. Quran has been written in a rhythm and in a flow in Arabic language. The moment we convert into our own language, all the rhythm and the true meaning does not get translated. That's why what I have observed, when I started reading word to word translation, I couldn't get full meaning. And the obvious reason behind this phenomena is Urdu is relatively a new language as compared to Arabic. Both languages are way different, and there is no way if you transfer from Arabic to Urdu, you will be able to get its true meaning. So there has to be some more efforts into it, and mostly these efforts are not done by us. We lose in the way. We stop this process when we see that when there's a translation and we don't get much of a meaning and we don't dig deep. Even when we overcome Arabic to Urdu a translation challenge, the next thing comes is the background of each verse. If we don't know the background, context and pretext of each verse, we cannot get full meaning. This is an example. Quran says don't enter in the house of Prophet unless a permission is given. If you read these verses alone, you won't know the whole background unless you dig deep. You get to know that at that point, out of love of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, people were eager to meet him. So they were used to visit Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, at odd timings. The house of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a small one, and in that one room it was difficult to accommodate visiting people and his family. That's why these verses came. So if we don't know the background, we won't get the full meaning. So for each verse, it is very important that we know the background, because there are some surahs which are Makki and there are some surahs which are Madni. If we don't know, then we won't get the meaning. The general context of Makki surah are that they are about Tawheed, about the one God, and Madni surahs generally address issues of normal routine life. So we need to put things into context. We need to know where which verse was revealed, for on which context, what was the background. If we don't know, we won't get the whole meaning. One more thing I noticed during my studies, that Quran address some ummas by their name, like Bani Israel or Al Imran and so on. So while I was reading, I always wondered that maybe this part is not relevant to me. It has been addressed to some particular people at that particular time. Then I realized that the circumstances of those people are similar to what circumstances we have now. One example is it was forbidden to eat some fruit. Now that thing can apply here as well when there are do and don'ts in our society. So we need to think that Quran not only addressed those ummas, it was addressed to us. Another important thing which I realized while my research of Holy Quran was that people kept asking Muhammad, peace be upon him, to show them some miracle. And Muhammad, peace be upon him, replied on many occasions that he won't show any miracle. It's not like he didn't have it, but he refused to show miracle. People ask Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that they will convert to Islam immediately if he shows them any miracle, like Prophet Isa alayhi salam or Prophet Musa alayhi salam had miracles, and they show it to their ummah. By watching those miracles, they converted to the right path. That same way, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, didn't show any miracle to the people to convert them to Islam. And this thing brings a question to my mind: why in our current era we are fascinated about miracles? We run around Bengali Baba sort of people, and we fascinate. We want to see some shortcut in our life. It's a struggle, and this is a great lesson which I learned. My study of Holy Quran has revealed to me that this book is for all, and this book discusses about stories of previous prophets. It talks about rights of women, inheritance issues. It talks about so many things. And in general, it's a book for all. My advice to parents would be to choose relevant topics or relevant chapters from Quran which can be easily connected with your kids. So this way parents can get most out of Quran in a more efficient and better way for their kids. Do you know what is the real beauty of Quran? Just pick any 300 or 400 old book. A book which is a century or 2 century old, and if you happen to read that book, you will feel a lot of disconnect between you and that book, just because that book is 1 or 2 centuries old. But Quran is like 1400 years old, and still if you pick Holy Quran, you will feel that it's really relevant with you. The concept of cosmos, embryology, movement of sun, movement of stars, everything is discussed in detail, and it's so accurate that it becomes itself a miracle for us. And one more thing which I noticed in Quran is that it is repetitive. There are a lot of repetitions. Some of the concepts have been explained over and over again. You will find one thing said in one chapter, it will get repeated in the next, and it goes on. As a reader, you may question, there is a lot of repetition, and this repetition is for a reason. What logical explanation I can give is that Quran was revealed on the people in that era which were very stubborn, and to get one stubborn people agree to a thing, you have to repeat it. Let's say there's a fight between two people, and one of that is really stubborn. You just don't say that person calm down. You have to repeat it several times, hey dude, calm down, calm down. That's the reason that you find a lot of repetition in Quran, but these are for a reason. What is the final conclusion or final thought which I can derive after reading Holy Quran? The life of Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and the prophets before him was full of sacrifices. As a leader of an army, he didn't just give orders to his subordinates to dig trenches. He was the one to do the groundwork. So Quran gives message about leadership, about motivation, how you spend your life, how you interact with your parents, how you behave with children. This book is for all. And this was my thoughts after studying Quran. And thanks a lot for watching this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Goodbye.